Nice and maturing.
I'm with Pat Butcher, but none of them look like Pat Butcher. Where are the gaudy earrings and the blonde hair and cigarettes?
So we have actually sort of discussed doing that previously, haven't we? But it's never quite materialised as of yet. Maybe a special occasion, potentially.
All off the cigarettes now. Yeah.
No cigarettes. Well, you know what? Pat probably would be too if her character was still alive.
She'd be vaping by now, wouldn't she?
Oh, God. Can you imagine?
She's on the weed now, isn't she?
Oh, yeah.
On TV, bonging, like...
That's right. She's traded in the cigarettes for a bong. I would love to have seen that in EastEnder. Were you her inspiration?
I don't know about that, but she's an inspirational character in general, so maybe she was mine. I don't know.
And that's what I was going to ask. How did you end up with the name Pat Butcher?
That's all for you, isn't it? Yeah.
Sort of had the idea of, well, we had the band name Pat Butcher probably for about 10, 15 years. Maybe it was from school, wasn't it, I think? We just thought it was such a good name for like a hardcore punk band. And then we sat on it for about 10 years and didn't do anything. And then decided to just do it one day.
It was... What was the reason? It was someone's birthday here or something. It was a karaoke night here. And watching Aaron do Come On Eileen, realised he should be fronting a band because he wasn't really doing much karaoke. He was more holding the mic out to everyone and shoving them about. And that's the point that I realised that I thought we should probably start a band.
Yes, potential at that
Yeah.
point. You do a fantastic karaoke as well. You should see him do his Black Betty. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you.
I think you need to do a covers set so you can have a live band karaoke.
We were literally on about this about
yesterday, I think,
Yeah.
just to fill gaps in when bands keep dropping out. So I was like, well, we can just, we do a country band as well, so we can do that, but then if another band drops out, we can do a cover set as well. But
Butchered by Butcher.
Yeah.
Butcher's choice, you know that.
Oh, I like that. Butcher's Choice.
Yeah.
That's good.
Might finally get the cover of Texas done
Yeah.
that we're talking about.
Aaron's favourite band is Texas.
Can't
yeah.
beat Texas.
Yeah.
Can't beat Texas. You look shocked.
I
Not a
look.
Texas fan.
I've never heard of Texas aside from the state.
Well,
I think they're Scottish, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just play Glastonbury. Yeah.
what we'll have to put Texas on between every band now solidly until Sunday.
You want to give me nightmares?
We're a fantastic band, Shell. Won't be nightmares.
Oh, I think I'm a little bit afraid now. You have some very interesting lyrics, and it seems somebody hates their neighbors. Who hates their neighbors?
Hate my ex-neighbours.
Well, originally we all lived in a. Well, me and you and Andy lived in a shared house in a slightly unfavourable part of York. And they were the original annoying neighbours, weren't they?
Yeah.
So
There's
we had
annoying
a,
and there's like stealing everything,
Yeah,
chucking
yeah.
concrete dogs through your window. There's
interesting
yeah.
experiences, back then, and then more annoying neighbours have followed.
Yeah, different annoying though, innit?
Yeah.
More inspiration.
Some steal stuff, some spy on you.
Some don't stop
So-
cleaning.
Yeah, the overly tidy neighbor. That one. I just don't get that one.
Yeah. I was going to say, maybe some of our neighbours hate us, but I don't know. I don't know what so.
course. Yeah. We're probably the worst neighbours.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? Probably worst neighbours ever. I've never thought about it that way around, Joe. Fuck's it.
They should write a song.
Can you imagine the songs they've written about you guys? Where does your song inspiration come from?
Everyday life.
Yeah.
And not how annoying it is, but just things that annoy you, like neighbour. Yeah, just like things that everyone's gonna moan about a little bit. Neighbours, shit cars.
Yeah.
What else do we sing about? Dogs and cats. They don't annoy us. We love dogs and cats.
Dogs and cats are good.
Yeah, they're great. Kidney stones, bodily functions, angle grinder face. So that was when you got your
True
angle
story.
grinder disc in his face.
I think they're all
So-
kind of true.
They're right, yeah.
Yeah.
My mate Yuma calls us the most relatable band on the planet, which is quite an accolade. Really, quite
There's
like
a
it.
Facebook group called York Moan, and if you go on that, it kind of relays a lot of what we sing about.
So you go in there, get some ideas. Oh, I remember that time when, and it reminds you of that.
We've got some good moments coming up, I think.
I think we do.
Yeah. There's some good concepts in the works for new songs.
And you're just anticipating my questions. Are you going to be recording anything? You did a demo during the lockdown.
Yeah.
Are you going to record anything now that lockdown is over? We're back to pseudo-normal.
We've got a couple of new ones, like How Clean Is Your House is a new one. We've written one about an establishment in York called The Willow, which is sort of an infamous nightclub from our younger years, I'd say, which is like quite well renowned in York. So got that on the works.
That's not a mo.
That's not a no.
Not a mon. That's a good one.
Yeah, that was happy memories.
But yeah, we've got a few more that we've got ideas for that I haven't started working on yet. But I imagine we'll be doing something towards the end of the year. I imagine. We're gonna try to do a few short, fast, more simple ones, aren't we? I think.
Yeah. There's one about people who don't walk fast. Well, so, you're just going on about things that annoy you. People walking really fucking slowly in front of you. So we've got a song called "Walk Fucking Faster" that's not been written yet, but the concept's there. It's just there's basically a list on my phone of things that wind me up, and I'm like, oh, I'll write a fucking song about that.
Or Aaron ends up going in the tune.
I mean, people write about things that really mean a lot to them and stuff quite a lot, but I mean, I'm just things fuck me off a little bit sometimes, and I'm a very happy person generally, but it's because I channel all this disgust at things through songs. Right?
You write a song about what irritates you, and suddenly it's expunged. Yeah.
Just breathe gently and just, yeah.
Perfect catharsis. Just get it out and sing about it every time you play.
Yeah, it's like a meditation, I suppose. Like, kind of. Yeah.
And is that an electric ukulele you're playing? What is that?
It's a mandolin.
Okay. What is the difference? Because I know there is one, but if you could explain that.
There's quite a lot of differences. Mandolin is basically tuned like a violin, whereas the ukulele is tuned more comparably to a banjo than anything. It's got a weird 5-string banjo, and it's steel strings rather than nylon. So electric ukulele probably wouldn't work. And you probably can't shred on a ukulele. Most people who play ukuleles just strum, which I also still just mostly strum because I can't shred as well as I wish I could. But like double strings, so it's never in tune, which is sometimes what I want, but sometimes it's a little bit too not in tune. But yeah, I'm just not a very good guitar player basically. And I've played an acoustic mandolin for quite a long time. And when we finally decided to make Pat Butcher a reality and rather just a pipe dream, it's the only instrument I felt comfortable playing.
That was my question. How did you get to start playing the mandolin in a punk band? Because that's a very different kind of instrument.
Yeah, I'm just my power chord game has never been that good on a guitar, so I just, like I say, I've always thought the mandolin belongs in punk. It's like, I'm a big bluegrass fan. Feel like Bill Monroe, big shredder. He invented invented rock and roll basically, and he's the original punk. As far as in terms of the way he plays.
To me, it goes. The big origins of punk go back to the original rock and rollers, because what they did then was just as, if not more, shocking to society than what punk did with society. Because I remember my father talking about his mother being horrified by the music he was listening to, the early beginnings of rock and roll. So that was shocking. My mother was shocked when I started with punk, not as shocked as my grandmother was. So.
I think the mandolin kind of adds that kind of difference to it. Well, it kind of adds it's like having another guitar, but it's constantly doing this.
It's a different tone, different scale.
This like higher thing. It's just adding.
A lot of people thought it was a synth when we first recorded something and no one had seen us. They were like, "What's that weird noise that's going on underneath it?" It was like, "Is that synth? Is it what?" But obviously no one's really heard much of an electric mandolin before. So I mean, I hadn't until I
used to play an acoustic one. That's the thing. I'm not that.
We did a couple of gigs with an acoustic one as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
Well, it does have that bit of a sound of a synth. I noticed that today during your set. I'm like, that sound.
A lot of people compare, which is the other thing that kind of always inspired me, is like bands like Cap Down and Random Hand and stuff, like hardcore bands with brass instruments, like the Scarcore bands, and I always like that. But you can't sing while you play a brass instrument, and I can't play a brass instrument either, so I always just figured that that's kind of where I wanted to sit, somewhere.
Sits in that room.
You've got your own frequency, and you're there.
Well, it made it easy to eliminate the brass if you can't play it. So you don't play gigs all that often. Why is that?
To be honest, we're all quite spread out now. Been raising so these three are in York, I'm in Leeds, and Danny's in Sheffield. We're all quite busy. You've obviously got recliners going as well. It's hard enough trying to get a practice in some weeks, but we're trying to, this year we're trying not to play York as much and try and get gigs elsewhere. So we've got a few coming up sort of further afield, which is a nice change. I'm stopping booking us for every BGB gig going, but that was mainly because there's not many punk bands in York now, and it's hard to fill lineup, so we ended up playing a lot of stuff previously. But yeah, we're trying to move out of York a bit now.
Only 7 years later.
Yeah, I know.
We played Birmingham the other week, and that's the furthest south we've ever been.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else have we done? Manchester and Leeds, basically. That's about it.
Oh
yeah, Sheffield, Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, not gone much further. Well, not gone any further south than Birmingham, and that was once.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to book us down south, please feel free to get in touch. Oh, we're going to Rill. We're playing Rill.
Yeah, it's a beautiful.
Yeah.
Wales, there you go.
Beat Erda in a few weeks. It should be pretty good.
Festival, we're doing that. Yeah. I think we like frequency at gigs. I think it's always about trying to want to really enjoy every single gig we do, and I think we really, and if we have a gig out of town, it might be once every month or whatever, and it's really enjoyable to just go off and do it rather than having to slog it through like 3 or 4 times a week, and it's we want each gig to be kind of like something we really want to do,
Well, you always look like, as a band, you're having a lot of fun on stage. Is that something you think keeps the band together, that it's fun for you all and you just...
I mean, it's just an excuse to hang out with my mates.
Yeah, I
think we're lucky like that.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's where every song comes from as well. It's just like, does it make us either laugh or like agree on something we're pissed off about? And it potentially does, and then it's like, we can enjoy that together.
Yeah. It's very fun at practice, especially when you're trying to come up with new stuff and there's like new concepts of songs and ideas, and it's quite a laugh. It's good. It's
we all live in different places now, well, relatively different places. It's just quite nice to be like, oh, yeah, we've got to practice. Yeah, we'll play a few songs, but like quite a lot of it's just kind of catching up. Just being nice. Yeah,
talking rubbish, moaning, and then the next thing you know, we've got a new song. Like
That explains those lyrics. Why is it, do you think, there aren't a lot of punk bands out of York?
I think York, compared to other cities like Manchester, Leeds, and York's tiny. It's absolutely tiny in comparison. What we've found is like it's the same people in bands a lot of the time, and as soon as one of those people moves to a different city, you lose 3 bands. No, it's just there's not that many people in York. We've got quite a relatively small core of people who keep turning up to gigs and stuff, which is nice, and playing bands. But obviously we're now getting to the age where people are starting to like have kids, settle down, get pets, move away. It's just
you always get a lot of people coming through uni, quite a lot. So you'll get like a wave of people for like 2 or 3 years, and then they go, and then you get another set of faces. They'll all come down. Like loads of them will come down to one gig, and then you never see them again.
We had that great student band called the Nobodies. I think we only played about 3 gigs. We put one of them on here and absolutely rammed. All these kids turned up, had a well good time, and we broke up. That was it. We've never seen them again.
They moved in down our old street, me and Andy, where me and Andy used to live. Yeah, they lived at number 6 down the road. Yeah, for about a week or so, there was a sofa outside the house. It was like King of the Hill. It was good.
the funky street in Europe.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, we've got. I know it's a bit of a meme and people joke about it, but we've had a new drummer move to York, haven't we? We've suddenly got a new grind band. Mm-hmm. There's he's possibly doing some with humour, isn't he?
Yeah,
as well,
he's doing,
another like heavy humour band. So yeah, we basically just need a few more people willing to play, and we'll spawn loads more bands.
Exactly. That is how it goes. I always call it the incestuous network.
Oh yeah.
Because everybody's just in all these bands.
Yeah.
So, and York is an interesting city, and I can see that it would be mostly students with the newer bands.
Yeah.
Because you have the newer blood coming in, so
Yeah.
to speak. Is that how you guys all formed, or did you know each other before that time?
We all went to school together.
Yeah.
And then known Andy for a long time. You're the kind of
I was the newbie originally. Yeah, I think you two approached me at a gig in Leeds, and I'd not played drums. I think I played drums with my mate Yuma, like for a very small amount of time. And these two were like, "Oh, you can play drums." I was like, "I can hit things." But then, Then I met everybody else at the house that we lived in for like 3 years, shortly after, and then the rest is history. Basically. Yeah. Danny's
annoyingly talented at every musical instrument you can throw at him.
I won't say that. I won't go that far. I'm average at a few things, and I just enjoy doing it. So I'm happy to do it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Sounds like you pick it up quick, though.
Yeah. I can pick things up fairly quickly, and I just like writing lyrics about things. So, yeah.
Is there anything you would like the world to know about Pat Butcher, whichever Pat Butcher it might be?
If you think you can eat a carrot in a minute, you're severely underestimating the difficulty of eating a carrot in a minute.
Just those little baby carrots, that's all.
Cheap carrots. Yeah, if anyone ever does carrot in a minute, they need to be verified carrots. I mean, we need to have a look at them and be like, right, that one's
pre-approved.
That one's a 50 second. That's a 50 seconder there. That's a minute 20. But yeah, it needs to be a good, like, you know, an honest sized carrot. Like, if you're gonna give it a go, at least give it a go with a, you know, a solid carrot.
I think I'm afraid to ask how you know how long it takes to eat a carrot.
Well, I mean, it came from you.
It started like a big group of us like hired out a big cottage, didn't we? And I remember walking into the kitchen at like maybe 2 in the morning, and there was loads of our mates absolutely pissed, just like trying to ram carrots down as quickly as they could. I don't really know where it came from, but I seem to remember everyone chanting about eating carrots. And
I think we overestimated how healthy we'd be eating while we were spending our time in this cottage. So someone did a food shop and bought a lot of vegetables that we probably needed to get rid of on the last night. I'm guessing that's my logic, because we didn't eat any vegetables over the 2 or 3 days that we were there, and so the last night involved
lots of carrots.
Vegetables,
microwave
eggs, if I remember correctly.
And that's where the chant came from as well. We just stood around the kitchen, just going like carrot in a minute, and that was how it happened.
And then. Yeah, that was around the time we started the band, so when we were looking for... Because we booked our first gig without having any songs, so we had to come up with some songs pretty quickly. And one of the carrot in a minute just seemed like a good idea. And Andy, our secret weapon, Screaming Andrew Hoydrek, decided that we should stick the... basically just played the Countdown theme tune. And we now... That's what we do, is we watch people eat carrots to the Countdown theme tune.
That's right. You usually do bring out a carrot during the set.
Yeah.
You didn't tonight.
No, we're trying to... I've already had quite a lot of grief off people out there for us not playing it tonight. And I was like, well, we're trying to save it for like special occasions now. But maybe today's a special occasion? I don't know. Well, it's certainly not been retired for good. But I think we've done it so much in York now. It's good playing it to new audiences that don't expect it. But everyone in York's had their fair share of carrots over the last 5 years.
There was one time where like no one wanted to, like there can be times when no one's really that into it, and like Aaron's being like feeding me a carrot while we're trying to play this tune on stage. And it's like,
it relies a lot on everyone to be enthusiastic crowd. Sometimes you can tell when you walk on, like, this isn't a crowd that's gonna try and eat a carrot in a minute, so we'll just skip it over and do something else.
I have seen people fighting for the carrots.
Yeah.
That's mine. No, it's mine. I'm eating that carrot, so...
All York punks are really good at seeing in the dark now.
All that vitamin A. Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. It's been a lot of fun. And next time, I do expect to see the earrings. I'm sorry.
Right,
I actually put these in earlier on. I have some earrings.
Those aren't gaudy, I'm sorry.
They're not gaudy. No, they're not.
They're way too small as well.
That one's quite big.
That's way too small.
It was a pain in the ass to get in as well. I had to get needle nose pliers there with our last, like, chucking it in with them. Yeah. She had sweaty hands as well, so it just didn't... Yeah, it was a challenge. Yeah, I couldn't do that in a minute.
I think clip-on big gaudy earrings is perfect.
Noted. I will get
Yes,
them.
next time. Thank you guys, and look forward to seeing you guys on stage again.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Guess you don't see it, so lucky doesn't see. That's right, I'm probably close to what's really big. First time it cuts out, jumping through the blinds. I also know what you mean, I'm like something mine. Right down with the business is school, I know it must have. If I know, we don't care, must be mine, must be good. Teacher! Taking to the light in the night. Good teacher! Good teacher! Back it up, go! Good teacher! Knocking you up like a winning fire! Next nigga still a weapon in the pen. Section of the police, I can follow with him. Because I'm living in it, but at least we something. But you see me in the bed, it's a better way. Put your eyes staring for a fucking with no glass. Every single night has been visually at last. This is a double and this is on track. Who's going to get it? Put your head on. Got a twitcher! Knocking up and knocking off the stone. Got a twitcher! Knocking you over so when you found. Got a twitcher! To the light in the night. Better twitcher! Making us see us, but turning on the phone. Turning on the phone, it's in the phone to do. I'm a good teacher, I'm fighting on your back. That's a drop of stone. Good teacher.